Hey guys, welcome back to part 4 of the Suzuki Intruder rebuild. Today I'm going to be fixing up all those chewed wires. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to solder wires together, and also I'm going to try and fix all the electricals, hook up an extra battery that I have, and hopefully all the lights and everything work. Alright, see you guys on the tripod. This morning I went out to buy some more wire right there and some heat shrink tubing. They also have some soldering paste and some solder, and those are all the tools I'm going to be using. I'm mainly going to use this and the lighter, but the others are there just in case. Okay guys, so I'm going to start with the wires right here. And I'm just going to go over what I'm going to be doing to solder all of these. So the first thing you want to do is get all of just anything in the way, get that out of the way. So I cut back this rubber tubing a little bit, and then after that you're going to want to strip your wires back. This is 20 gauge. So you just get your wire strippers and you just pull the cover right off. You're going to want preferably you're going to want about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, but if you're dealing with less wire, like if you don't have that much room, you can do a little less, so I won't be stripping it that much. Then you're going to want to get your other wire that you're going to be soldering to it. You're going to want to strip that as well. So that's stripped. And then so there's two ways that you can do this. I'm going to model how to do this with another piece of wire that I cut. So these are the two pieces of wire, as you can see. And so one way to solder them together is you want to spread it out, fan out the wires a little. On each wire. Then you want to stick them together like that and twist. There you go. The other way you can do it is twist the wires separately so that there is no strand sticking out like that. Then you put them together across like this, and you twist again. So this way really only works if you are able to strip the wire back more. As you can see, it's not really working for me because I don't have that much wire stripped. But if you are able to strip the wire back 1/2 inch or more, you can definitely do this way. Might be a little more secure than the other way. So I prefer the other way. Stick them into each other, and then twist. Make sure you twist all of them. Should look like that. So then once you do that, you're going to want to get some soldering paste on here. I'm not going to do it because I'm not actually going to solder these, but you want to get some soldering paste on your finger, put it on here. Then what you do, you get your actual soldering iron right here. I have a Weller TC201P right here, and it's not plugged in right now. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to heat up the wires with the soldering paste on it. It'll be helpful if you have some sort of clips or something to hold the two wires, because you're going to need to hold this and the solder. Sorry, so this is hard to do. I don't have my clamp right now. But you heat you won't be touching. This is still incredibly hot when it's on, but it's not on right now. So you want to heat up the wiring right here, and then you get your solder and you put a little bit in each place. You don't want to clump it up. You want it to soak down in between the wires. Then once you're done with that, you let it completely cool. And you put on your heat shrink tubing, and then you heat that with either a heat gun or a lighter, which I will be using, and you let that cool as well, and then you have a completed wire soldered together. Alright, so I'm gonna start on the motorcycle. Okay, so there's one thing I forgot to mention about preparing your soldering iron. You're going to want to get a sponge, a damp, wet sponge, and just to clean this before you use it, you want to brush it. You want to brush it on the sponge to get any residue, anything off. This will also help protect it, and you can also dip this in the soldering paste and do the same thing. Let it heat up. Put some solder actually on the tip and then wipe most of it off, and this will help protect the tip and keep it lasting longer from any oxidation or anything, because when these heat up, they're going to form some oxidation, and if you don't treat this right, it's going to become harder and harder to get it as hot and to heat up the solder each time, because there's going to be a coating of oxidation on it. So just like that, and you're all good. Okay guys, so that's what a good soldering should look like. I did add maybe a tad too much solder to it, but as you can still see the copper definition right there. So that's good. You want to see the copper wires, but you don't want to actually be able to see any of the copper itself. So you want to see them defined, but you don't want to see actual copper. So I will probably add a little more over here, as you can see some copper. One other thing is that different wires take a little longer to heat up. So mine took a little while to heat up before it could actually melt the solder. This does produce a good amount of smoke, so you're going to want to be in a well ventilated area. I'm in my garage right now with the door open, so I'm getting a good breeze in here, but make sure to do this outside, or like I said, in a well ventilated area. Okay guys, so I have my shrink wrap right here, and you're going to want to make sure that this wrap is just the right size. You don't want it too big. You want it to fit snugly over. This is the perfect size for my wiring. And then you just heat it evenly. You start in the middle and go out to the edges. You don't want to get too close with a lighter, especially because it could melt. I'm going to heat mine right now. Just so you know, I'm using tin snips just because I had them up here. I'm too lazy to go get some regular scissors. I just wired these two up. Now I'm waiting for my solder to warm up, soldering iron to warm up so I can solder them. I think I might strip these back a little bit if I can. Damn, I'm really working with no wire on this one, so it's gonna be pretty difficult. If you hear any squeaking, it's coming from my gloves. Hey everyone, I think I just finished soldering. I have 7 new wires installed that I soldered on. And the problem that I'm trying to figure out now is that a bunch of these clips are kind of useless because they have, as you can see, the wire is, this one isn't that bad. Well, it is pretty bad, but as you can see, this wire right here is bitten down pretty much to the end of the clip. And this is happening to a bunch of clips, like as you can see, that one too. So what I think I'm gonna do is take the wires out of the clip like I did to this one. There's just a little, you just have to shove a little toothpick or something down there. And then this comes right out. There's a little tab on the back right there that you have to push in. And then it comes right out. See, this one was bitten down. So I pretty much can't splice in a wire to here. So what I think I'm going to do is, I have a bunch of these, which are pretty much the female part of the clip. Only they're not, you know, it's not technically a clip at like this one is, you know, it doesn't clip on, but it still stays on and it's sturdy. So I think I'm just gonna attach the new wires to these and then clip them on here, and then maybe wrap it up with a little electrical tape, try to make it look as clean as possible. So yeah, that's the next step for me. Put the new wires into these, put these on the clips, and then I have to deal with the wires that use these, then I have to deal with the wires that use these butt connectors that are completely chewed off, like this one. I think what I'm going to do for that is, I have pretty much whole new butt connectors, so I'm just gonna chop off both sides, put in the new, strip the wire, put in the new wire, and crimp it down. And so I'll see you guys on the tripod, or when I'm done. Hey guys, so I just finished up all the wiring, as you can see. I put in some new clips here, some butt connectors, soldered these on, and soldered all the green wires. I'm going to be testing the battery with a different battery soon just to see if anything works, and then after that I'm just going to wrap up all this stuff with electrical tape to make sure nothing shorts out. Okay guys, so I have my own battery here from one of my other projects and some jumper cables, and I'm going to hook the cables up to the battery cables and then hook those up to the battery, put the key in, and hopefully something happens. On. Hey guys, so I'm just going to be giving you a quick update on where the build is right now. Everything's kind of on hold because I'm experiencing some electrical difficulties. I'm not sure what's wrong. The other day I finished soldering all the wires, getting all the wires that I could see that the chipmunk chewed up, getting all those fixed up, and I attached a battery, hooked it up, turned the key, and there was nothing. I've been doing a bunch of testing on the bike. I have a multimeter, and as you can see, I have the battery hooked up to the terminals on the bike. You know, I've been through all the fuses, I've been through these, the circuit breaker. You can see all my work right there. I've been checking the plugs, everything. And I just can't figure out why the bike's not getting power. I've checked right below the fuses, these two places, and there is about 13.5 volts going right there. Sorry. There's about 13.5 volts going to these, going to the fuses. All the fuses are fine. And then there's about 13.5 volt going to, I think this is the AC converter. And so these are both fine, but then from there, you know, nothing works. None of the lights work. And so, you know, I just really don't know what's going on. I told you before, sorry, right now the key's not on, but even when it is, nothing works. But I've told you guys before, I don't know much about motorcycles, but I've done a bunch of looking around on the internet, you know, trying to find videos that help me, and a couple are helpful, but you know, there isn't much out there. So I think what I'm gonna do is upload the video of me fixing all the wires in this video, and if you know anything, just anything that could be a problem right now, please drop it down in the comments. You know, I'm not sure, you know, I've been through everything I could think of, and I'm kind of at a standstill right now. I want to get started on the carburetors and on the motor, but I'm not sure I can do that until once I know all the electrical works. So I'll probably upload this video part 4. I really wanted to get the electrical done to show you guys, but like I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to. So like I said, please drop a comment below if you know anything that could help me out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this video, and like I said, please comment. Also subscribe for part 5, possibly, if I can figure this out. I'll let you guys know.